Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our latest webinar from Commio, hosted here with our friends at UniVoIP. You may notice from my background, I'm actually talking to all of you on one of our rare office days here at Commio. We've got the whole team in here in meetings, and at some point, you're going to see a bunch of people come out of that office behind me. I guarantee it. So it's kind of nice to be reaching everybody with this content at this time because I think we've got something really special to share with you that you'll find very interesting. And again, the topic for our webinar today is get more from Microsoft Teams with optimized voice over IP. And that's really what the UniVoIP and Commio combination bring to you. And I'm excited to be joined today by Mike. He's the Executive VP over at UniVoIP. Mike, welcome in.
Hello. Thank you to everybody for joining.
Thank you, sir. And also we've got Megan on as well. She's the channel manager. Megan, always good to have you
Hi
on.
guys. Yes, thanks for
Great.
having us.
Well, great. Well, I'm going to kick it off, and then we'll kick it over to Mike as soon as I get through my couple slides. But just want to say happy belated New Year, happy 2024, and again, excited to share this Microsoft Teams solution that UniVoIP and Commio together now provide. And really, at the end of the day, what this solution is all about is giving you guys the ability to ditch those office phones. We're all together today using Zoom. It's one of many solutions for unified communications, voice, video, all different kinds of things. And as we all know, that Microsoft Teams is one of the hottest and fastest growing solutions that does a very similar service, along with the ability to, which is really exciting, reassigning your extensions in Teams so you can ditch those office phones and you can get better voice service for less money with more flexibility and more control, which we'll be showing you today. And at the end of the day, you're going to save money. And you're also going to have a fully redundant down to 40 different voice carriers here in the United States, as well as international carriers. And you'll be able to take full control of your voice services like you've never been able to, even with a traditional VoIP service that your office may have had in the past. And that's all unlocked through the beauty of the cloud, the beauty of Microsoft and their services, as well as Commio and UniVoIP stitching it all together. So really, at the end of the day, guys, we're talking about Zoom and Microsoft Teams and lots of other services are really a definition of a new class of service called Unified Communications as a Service. So that gives all of us the ability to deliver, as it says here, enterprise-grade communication and collaboration tools. You can have a single platform that's accessible from multiple devices to give you that voice, video, instant messaging, presence information. And together you're able to offer, call routing, voicemail, all these things that are listed here, along with direct integration with business applications like your CRM and your ERP. So what's exciting is that now that we've brought all these different tools together in the cloud as a UCaaS service, we can use newer technologies to make them even better than what they would have been as different services. They're now bolted all together and we can optimize in a lot of different ways. And that's what we're going to be showing you today for the voice side of your Microsoft Teams. So what are some of the advantages? Well, I already mentioned a few. It's increased and improved efficiency, productivity, as well as more flexibility for you and the ability to grow. You can add extensions, you can increase your voice traffic and know that every call is going to sound great, every extension is going to work, and you're going to be able to deliver a better experience for your employees as well as for the folks that those folks are calling out to on a regular basis as part of your business. So it enables these features to work anywhere. It's an omni-channel collaboration. It allows you to offer enhanced customer service and really what we love to talk about is not just the fact that it will power your calling, make it sound better and save you money, but also that you get more flexibility and mobility because again, it's all linked up through, your internet connection and giving you ultimate flexibility and redundancy. So you can also secure and scale your communications and a lot of other different things. So again, we've talked about what UCaaS platforms look like. We've all heard these names before: Zoom, RingCentral, and of course today talking about Microsoft Teams. So with that, I want to pass it over to Mike to really talk about why Microsoft Teams and really talk about its incredible growth.
Sure. Thank you, Tim. Um, so let me take a step back and let's talk about the marketplace in general. So Microsoft introduced 365 Teams, half a decade ago. And within Teams, there was always the promise, soon to be replaced by reality, of a Microsoft PBX. And I think Microsoft's vision was to look at voice as an attribute of many, many desktop applications, all, congealed into one location. So as we sit here today, I just wanted to let you know that there are over 300 million licenses Microsoft has sold in the last, half a decade. And of those 300 million, a significant percentage is already using Microsoft Voice as a PBX replacement strategy. Next slide, Tim. So let me just give you some facts here again. Again, I won't, you know, bore you with everything that's on the screen. You can see the numbers. Uh, they just crossed the million mark for a number of organizations using Teams. 91% of the Fortune 100 companies, which means 91 companies, are already using uh, Microsoft Teams. And when they built the platform, they built it for a global reach. So Microsoft Voice within the platform today is available in 181 countries in over 100 plus languages, and that number continues to grow. So it is by far the most dominant piece of software in the marketplace today as it relates to voice. Next slide, please. So let's talk about a little bit about why these customers are moving to Microsoft Teams and then subsequently to voice. First of all, Microsoft is the leader. They're the market leader. I think the numbers is shifting. It's growing actually. When you look at from an application provider perspective, Microsoft has probably got 70% market share in that marketplace. So there is no question. While there are others, there are niche players. Microsoft by far is the most dominant player. Uh, when you look at bringing voice into it, you're looking at it not no longer being sold and managed as a separate and distinct silo within the organization. It is now within the Microsoft ecosystem and is fully integrated with other Microsoft products. Again, it's dominant in the marketplace, and the reason why companies are moving towards Teams is productivity, security, and cost effectiveness. Okay. One of the things we're seeing also, and something you have to take into account when you are talking to an organization about shifting their technology from one platform to another, they have to take into account, I call it fear factor, and it's real. They have to take into account what it's going to cost the disruption internally to move from brand X to, brand Y. And, some of these migrations can, depending on how complex the company, how big the company, where their global footprint is, some of these migrations can take a long time. I can tell you right now that with Microsoft, with everybody being standardized on a single platform, and the voice aspect and a company moving from brand X to Microsoft, that transition is significantly less harmful or impactful on an organization from a time and an oversight perspective, which again adds to the productivity conversation and the benefits of companies moving to Microsoft Teams. And also, let's face it, handsets are becoming less and less of a factor in offices. As the workforce has virtualized, we're seeing people conduct business, enterprise class business, from their laptops, from their iPhones, from their iPads, and doing it quite effectively. So we're saying, just to give everybody a statistic, we're seeing about 85% reduction in equipment associated with the phones, which again contributes to the cost savings experience that customers will benefit from moving from Brand X to Microsoft Teams. Next slide. And I believe this is somebody else, correct? Or is this still me? Tim?
I don't think, yeah, you want to touch on Copilot since it goes in line with Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, let me
Sure.
just
Yeah.
touch on it. I will spend no time on this whatsoever, and then I'm going to migrate over to Megan. Uh, Microsoft introduced something called 365 Copilot. I urge everybody on the call, if you haven't already seen it in action, it's a just released product from Microsoft, first of the year. But it's something they've been talking about for months now. I think it's going to revolutionize how voice is treated within the customer experience and other things. So again, you can please read what the promise of Copilot is, but in short, it is bringing AI, artificial intelligence, to people's emails, people's chats, people's voice experiences, and then running those events through artificial intelligence to achieve a result. Let me just give you one example. We're famous for doing a lot of meetings, and it's not always easy for everybody to come to the meeting exactly on time. And we run the risk sometimes of joining a meeting 3 or 4 minutes late that they have no idea where we're at in the conversation. Well, what Copilot's going to be able to do is provide a real-time synopsis of what has happened in a meeting, and that person can be presented with that information before they enter into the meeting. So there'll be less of a chance for having to go back and repeat yourself. But I recommend everybody take a look at this. This is going to be extraordinary and game changing. Next slide, Tim.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Megan, it's all yours.
Yeah, just a little bit about UniVoIP. We are very proud that we're a phone company. And so since we've been around, we can offer additional features when you do Microsoft Teams Voice with UniVoIP that Microsoft, for example, couldn't offer. I think that's actually on the next slide, but I point that out because I think Mike might have touched on this. There's a large, it's a small percentage overall of the people using Microsoft Teams, but of the people that are utilizing voice, only, about 90% of them are using third-party applications. And when you have a third-party application, you have some additional costs, some more complexities. So UniVoIP is really proud that our solution is a native solution. It's all within the Teams client. And then we also have an automated onboarding tool that we created to really make this a very easy solution to use. You can onboard an unlimited amount of users within minutes. So the automated onboarding tool, the fact that we're a native solution really kind of supports the Teams experience to begin with. We're all on there to streamline our communication tools and make it a very simple experience. Next slide. And since we are a phone company, we can offer those additional features I mentioned on, such as faxing, paging, SMS, contact center, all again within the Teams client. It's important to note that we really are a purpose-built platform and a dedicated network for Microsoft Teams, which makes UniVoIP scalable, efficient, and cost-effective. And because of this, it eliminates integration issues and limitations. Next slide. And so we're also really proud at UniVoIP because of that automation tool that I talked about. It really is a very quick process with us to onboard. And we also, unlike the calling plan, we are very customer centric. In other words, if there's any issue, you can get a hold of us. Can't get a hold of Microsoft, because we do offer 24/7, 365 US-based support. And that is, we have a very low turn rate at UniVoIP. We're very customer centric. And we also do free training, and we don't charge for porting numbers. So yes, thanks so much.
And Megan, I'll take it from here. So one of the things that we're excited about at Commio is that we're basically the bring your own carrier solution that sort of works underneath UniVoIP and the Microsoft Teams integration. So at Commio, we work with platforms like Twilio, lots of other different platforms, and we become the voice carrier layer that handles all the complexities of connecting customers of UniVoIP who are using Microsoft Teams, as well as Twilio users, lots of other folks, to more than 40 domestic carriers to deliver the redundancy and that 99.99% uptime, as well as something that we love to call intelligent call routing, where we basically, just like Microsoft now has Copilot, for 11 years here at Commio, we used to be called Think. We've been using machine learning to power our call routing to make sure that the calls route around issues. We all know when we pick up our phone and try to make a call and we get a fast busy signal, or we can't get calls from a certain location, that empty feeling inside that we're going to have to file a support ticket and wait and hope that our phone starts working again or calls start completing again. Here at Commio, we basically created the company because we knew the tools existed that we could automate or to go around those issues. So what's great about all this, guys, is I'm giving you a lot of technical descriptions here, but this is built in to the UniVoIP Microsoft Teams integration. You don't even have to think about it. When you sign up, when you turn on your calling, our solution will be underneath, powering that level of control and routing around issues and providing great sounding voice and routing around issues. So it's really important. And, we deliver that transparency and control. So if there is ever an issue that you can't solve, you can work with our friends at UniVoIP that they can get into the system and make little changes to get things working again very quickly. So for us, it's all about quality, control, redundancy, and ensuring that you can deliver a great experience both for your employees as well as for the customers that you're calling and conducting that enterprise grade business with. The other thing we pride ourselves on is, again, that easy number management. You can move your numbers into the system very easily. You can buy new numbers, get them up and running. And just like UniVoIP was one reason we love to work with them, is we also have 24/7, 365, 100% US-based support. So when you have a problem, when you have an issue, somebody's going to be there. We're going to reply, and we're going to work with you to solve the issues, just like UniVoIP. And again, at the end of the day, we're all about avoiding unnecessary costs and complexity, and taking the worry out of delivering great quality voice through Microsoft Teams. So with that, I'm going to switch over here, guys, and play a very quick video, which will show you, which is a fantastic video, guys, about how easy it is to get started with this Microsoft Teams solution. And when we come back around, we'll continue and then open it up for questions. But let me go ahead and share that video.
Welcome to Cloud Voice for Microsoft Teams. You're about to join the fastest growing community of organizations adopting voice for Microsoft Teams. After onboarding, you will have maximized your Microsoft investment by seamlessly enabling users to make, receive, and transfer calls from the Teams client to anyone with a phone number. The goal of the onboarding is to enable you to easily connect UniVoIP's Cloud Voice backbone to your Microsoft 365 tenant and assign numbers to your users. Let's get started. You will need a Microsoft 365 tenant administrator to start the onboarding process. If you're not an administrator, don't worry. You can invite one or more during the automated process. You will need one available Teams-inclusive Microsoft 365 user license. Nothing else is needed if the available user license is an E5 or equivalent. For lower enterprise licenses, as well as business user licenses and below, one available Teams Phone Standard add-on license will also be needed. It is preferred that Microsoft 365 be deployed in pure cloud mode. If Microsoft 365 Azure Active Directory or Microsoft 365 Exchange is deployed in a hybrid configuration, Azure AD must be synchronized with your on-prem AD. The onboarding workflow consists of 4 simple steps. Activate your voice paths, add telephone numbers, assign users to numbers, and make some calls. During the first step, a Microsoft tenant administrator will add the Service Control Management application to your Microsoft tenant. If you do not have admin rights to your tenant, you may invite one or more admin to participate in the onboarding workflow. Once the application has been installed, Service Control will verify that a user license is available for temporary use. After the license check, we will add 2 dedicated voice domains to your Microsoft tenant. Next, an administrator will be prompted to sign in to activate the voice paths. This last part usually takes around 30 minutes to complete. In the second step, you'll be able to add new numbers and activate them. You only need to add 1 new telephone number to complete the onboarding. Additional numbers can be added as needed. If you are porting your existing numbers into Service Control, you'll be able to submit the port request after the initial onboarding is complete. To ensure the successful porting of any existing numbers, a dedicated provisioning manager will be automatically notified to assist. In the third step, you'll be able to assign numbers to any voice-capable user and associate it with an address. Service Control is aware of user accounts in your Microsoft Azure Active Directory. Voice-capable users appear in a pull-down menu and can easily be selected for assignment to a specific telephone number. Service Control synchronizes telephone number provisioning, updating, and deprovisioning of users with the Azure Active Directory. Once a number is assigned to a user account, a dial pad will appear in the Teams client under the Calls menu option. This may take some time as the configuration fully propagates in the Microsoft ecosystem. Finally, users may make and receive calls once the dial pad appears in the Teams client. To verify your services are activated successfully, Service Control will track when an assigned user successfully makes and receives their first call. The onboarding process is complete when at least 1 user has answered an incoming call and completed 1 outbound call. You can test PSTN routing by making and receiving calls. At this point, the assigned users may start to realize the productivity benefits of the Microsoft phone system. You can continue to add new numbers or request to initiate porting of existing numbers as required, and assign numbers to resource accounts for auto attendance and call queues. UniVoIP support team is ready to share best practice models and assist with configuring and deploying auto attendance and call queues in your specific environment. Numbers can be added or removed at any time. After the free trial period, you will pay only for numbers you've provisioned in Service Control. International calling is limited during the trial. Contact us to discuss any specific international requirements that you may have. By leveraging Cloud Voice for Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Teams phone system, organizations may work smarter by unifying calling, messaging, meetings, and collaboration in one application with a consistent user experience across all devices.
Fantastic. Love that video. Very straightforward. I love it. So Megan, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, and then we'll open it up to questions. But I feel like we've got a good overview of the system, how easy it is to sign up, which, by the way, we will provide a link that you'll be able to click and start that process after the webinar.
Yeah. Yep,
yeah.
That's actually what I was going to say, Tim. Tim will provide you with a link to start that process. And because I'm the channel manager who works directly with Commio, you would be in touch with me and whoever is assigned through Commio to support you through the onboarding and any questions that come up, and ideally, continue on to a service. So just keep that in mind. If you hear from Megan, that's me, and I look forward to giving you a try.
That's great.
Thanks.
Megan, we did have one question come in earlier. Somebody who is actually based in South Africa, and you did mention about international support. Is that, would that person be able to take advantage?
Yeah. We actually have very few limitations internationally, but by for the most part, yes. But always inquire, of course. But yes, South Africa for sure.
Okay, great. We'll reach out and get that one moving again. Again, wanted to quickly just encourage anybody who's on the line, if you do have any questions for the group, now's your chance. You got the brain trust here. I like that we got one natural question there. Um, that's great. Well, everybody, we obviously are recording today's webinar. We will be sending it around to all registrants. So if you reply to that email, I will get those replies and I'll work with Mike and Megan and even Nick over there at UniVoIP and get you the answers you need very quickly. And we've been excited by the early adoption of the program. Of course, we want to see more people using it, putting Commio to work to get great sounding calls, but also a great onboarding experience and all the other tools that you get with UniVoIP. Here in 2024 to really take Microsoft Teams to the next level of efficiency and usefulness in your organization. So with that, anything else from anybody on your side before we sign off today?
No, thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like to say is if you are a use organization and you're not looking at Microsoft Teams, you're doing your organization a disservice because the grand majority of organizations, or at least researching about this technology and what its potential impact could be on its organization. If you are someone who represents a use organization and you're not talking to them about Microsoft Teams voice, then they're talking to somebody else. Because again, stepping back and looking at the numbers, this is from a technology shift perspective. If you looked at technologies such as Centrex moving to PBX, PBX moving to hosted voice, and hosted voice moving to something, and that something being voiced into Microsoft, this is the fastest growing technology shift amongst all those that I mentioned. So there's almost 20 million users in 2 years
Mm,
that this has been introduced that is already adding voice to Microsoft.
that's great.
Yeah, that's just a huge number with a rate of growth that is exponentially larger than from when PBX has moved to hosted voice. So if you're not talking to somebody about Microsoft Voice, or if you're an organization and you're not looking at it, I believe both cases you're making a mistake. So I
Fair
think you
enough.
owe it to yourself to at least investigate. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, Mr. Pendergraft here had a question for you guys. He said, "What about porting legacy phone numbers from AT&T? What does that take? What additional costs from a team license perspective might there be?"
There's no additional cost for porting numbers. As again, one of the things we mentioned during the presentation, but we're a CLEC. We use Commio also as underlying provider. We can port numbers anywhere in the ecosystem.
Yep.
So that's our forte. So we've been doing that's easy. That's an easy telephony task that we've been doing for, a quarter of a century.
Yep. So, Michael, I think it's easy to say that not only don't you have to worry about the porting because we'll take care of that, you'll take care of it,
We
we'll
take
help.
care of it.
And then at
We
the
take
same time,
care of it. Yep.
yeah, just like and then connecting your organization not only to AT&T but 39 other carriers through Commio's voice integration that again, you don't even have to think about it. It's happening on the back end. So you get that. Well, great. Thanks to all you folks over there at UniVoIP for this great service and for all of you tuning in today. We'll send out the recording and again, hit reply, shoot your questions back. We'll get you with the right people and let's talk about Microsoft Teams and getting Commio to work with you on the VoIP side of your business as soon as possible. It's a great idea in 2024. So thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
good one.
guys. Thanks, Camille. Thanks.